It's hard to get through a day without feeling overwhelmed by the reality of climate change or the condition of our world. And it's hard not to lose hope when we think about our future. But tonight I want to talk about one layer of this battle, a smaller, quieter layer, less glamorous layer that has to do with repair. And repair is something I thought a lot over my career, and it really hit home for me when I was on a train from New York to New Jersey and watched just miles and miles of land that was in need of repair fly by. Old industry, junkyards, patches of young forest, and I thought about these sort of leftover spaces. So as designers, we like new spaces, or a cool retrofit project that's not too challenging, although I would classify this as a cool retrofit project. But the point being is that we're running out of space for newness. Yet newness and innovation is what we value most, especially as designers. So this feels better, right? This is what we think about a sustainable future. A brand new building that has all of the latest technologies and innovative solutions inside the walls. A project that we can create, a rendering or a project to parade around and make us feel good about ourselves. But these are the types of spaces that surround us more. These are the spaces of the everyday, the sort of leftover spaces, the drainage areas, the area between the street and private property, the kind of ugly spaces that we don't get excited about as designers or will win design awards. So somewhere along the way, we have forgotten about mending. And we have to remember that even though those spaces are difficult, they're worth our time, and that repair is part of the human story, and that we need to reharness those skills from fishing nets to the human body. We have that within us. And so Repair Ecology, which is what my presentation is on tonight, deals with what is existing. It looks more inward or backwards instead of forward at what we've wrecked and how we can fix it. The solutions are typically small or low tech, but they're always persistent and result in incremental change. So this is a scene that could be really in any community, but just so happens to be down in the River Arts District. Not a project a lot of designers would get excited about. It's small. There's a lot of existing conditions. It's not part of a big capital improvement project with large design fees. And really, the client just wanted us to make it look better, right? Because when things look like this, you throw your trash in it, or you park your shopping cart. And we were lucky because the clients also agreed that this could be more than just a beautification project, that this could be a demonstration of what these small spaces could be, and a demonstration of what ecology could look like in the urban realm. So again, tiny project, tiny diagram. But you can see the beginnings of the thought process with how we can integrate plantings into this space that not only are native and support a lot of pollinators and birds, but also are reminiscent of the riverine ecosystem that this space is a part of. So here it is, a young landscape. You can see that biodiversity has been reintroduced into this urban streetscape. We're supporting pollinators. And even if you don't care about ecology or you're so scared of climate change that you don't believe in it, that's okay, because this is still beautiful and still improves the quality of the space. So I know you're thinking, Kate, this is a tiny project. How can it possibly be impactful? Well, on the left, you can see the project site, and then the corridor. This is all within less than half a mile of the project site, and all the other small little spaces just like that one. And then on the left, you can see that scaled out even more, and even more of those spaces. So you can begin to understand what the impacts can be. And so Repair Ecology has a lot of environmental benefits. And I want you to think about that project and multiply it by 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. And then start thinking about carbon sequestration and water and air quality and biodiversity and what those impacts could be. Repair Ecology also has a lot of benefits that are less easy for us to calculate. And I would argue that they perhaps are even more important as the relationship between us and the natural world has become fractured, more and more fractured. As human beings, we have a deep connection to the natural world. Only a sliver of our evolution has occurred in a world that looks like it does today. And we know that access to nature is also important. And that access needs to occur not just in deliberate ways, but also incidental. Deliberate is going to a park or going to a faraway nature area. Incidental is the everyday, the smaller moments. And that connection is what is important for us to gain the health benefits. And so we call these types of spaces repairscapes because they have to be scalable, right? There have to be a lot of them. And so we have a lot of gray fields in our country, old or abandoned or low-performing strip malls. What if we depave those spaces and began to reintroduce plant material? We let water seep into where it belongs. Rooftops are another repairscape. This project is on Lexington Avenue, and the green roof here is a diverse layer of plants that not only support pollinators but cool the building and provide a nice view compared to the typical stained membrane view of most roofs in downtown. Vacant properties or stalled sites. Stalled sites are sites that are in between development that are just sitting. What could they be contributing in that 5 to 10 years? And I understand you're going to say, no, that won't work. That's city property, that's private property. But the point being is we have to figure out a way to make it work because there's a lot of land tied up in this sort of limbo that could be contributing something. And then finally, there's little leftover spaces, those interstitial spaces, like areas between the parking lot and a building, or drainage areas. How can we reintroduce beauty into these areas, but also have them ecologically resilient? And then finally, I just want to encourage you to, when you think about nature and you think about the city, to not put them on two different ends of a spectrum. Natural processes are alive and well in our city. And as we begin to reintroduce it back into the built landscape, not only are we repairing the land, but we're also beginning to repair the relationship between us and our world.